Wait, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into a concept that uh, might sound like just simple isolation, maybe solitude,
Hmm.
but it's actually incredibly rich, layered. It's called Hitbodedut.
Hmm.
And while, people often translate it as seclusion or maybe solitude, our main source for this deep dive in oral teaching
Yeah.
from Rabbi Itamar Schwartz, it reveals something much more profound, way beyond those basic definitions.
Yeah.
So our mission, like always, is to pull out some surprising insights, maybe some practical wisdom, and really help you connect these ideas to your own understanding, your own journey.
What's fascinating here right from the start is how the teaching clarifies that this isn't about, becoming a hermit, absolute withdrawal.
Right.
No, it's presented as a specific kind of layered approach to deep inner work. It's about finding a vital balance, a conscious balance, really, between our external lives, all the action, and our essential internal reality, the contemplative side.
So less about physically going somewhere else.
Exactly. Less about changing your location, more about revealing these deeper layers inside yourself, layers that are often hidden.
That idea, that dual nature we have, body and soul, that seems to be the starting point for Rabbi Schwartz.
Hmm.
He explains how humans are this combination. Our body, it naturally thrives on doing things externally,
Hmm.
acts of kindness, cheesed.
Sure. Very important.
And that definitely draws you closer to the creator. But what happens if we lean too heavily on that external doing, so much that we maybe neglect the other part, the soul's need for inner quiet?
Yeah.
Even if we're doing really good things, it feels like something crucial might be missing.
Precisely. And the teaching points this out. If we live only in that world of action, even if it's positive actions, commandments,
Right.
we're leaning entirely towards the physical. And we inevitably neglect the soul's quietude, its inner space. But conversely, if we only focused on quietude, just inner work, we'd miss that external connection, that interaction with the world. And the teaching stresses that's explicitly the Creator's will. I mean, think about it. If the Creator just wanted quietude, he could have just left all souls in Gan Eden, right? That sort of primordial spiritual state, pure connection.
Makes sense.
But he sent souls into this world, this active, sometimes messy, challenging world. So a full life, a meaningful one, it actually needs both. Learning, doing, and that quietude, that seclusion.
So Hitbodedut isn't an escape. It's more like creating space.
Yes. Its initial purpose, you could say, is to consciously quiet the body's noise, all that internal chatter, the external demands. So the soul, which really can't thrive amidst all that worldly clamor, can actually emerge. It's about revealing an inner layer.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Mm.
the ultimate goal here isn't just, self-improvement or feeling calm. It's the actual revelation of the Creator.
Wow. Okay, that shifts the perspective significantly. It's not just balancing for balance's sake.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The teaching introduces this crucial distinction within the practice itself. Uses some really great analogies.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not just one thing. Most people probably think Hitbodedut is just being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Mm-hmm.
But Rabbi Schwartz breaks it down into two fundamentally different types or modes of solitude, each doing something very specific.
Absolutely. And understanding these two, it's really vital, because they target different parts of our spiritual makeup.
Okay, so lay it out for us. What's the first type?
So the first is what he calls external or preliminary Hitbodedut.
Okay, external.
Preliminary. And the analogy is like digging for diamonds.
Digging for diamonds.
Okay, I like that. This type, its aim is to reveal let's say, the foundational parts of the soul, the more accessible layers, often called nefesh, ruach, neshama, and chaya. Think of them as levels, getting progressively deeper, more spiritual.
Right, from the most world-engaged to the most divine spark-like.
Exactly. And the digging analogy helps. See, digging itself,
Yeah.
it isn't inherently about diamonds, right? You can dig to lay foundations for a house or build a bunker.
Or just dig a hole.
Or just dig a hole, but digging is necessary if you want to find the diamonds because they're hidden underground.
Got it.
Similarly, this kind of Hitbodedut, this external type, it isn't an intrinsic tool for revealing the soul in itself. It's more like a necessary preparation. It's a means to quiet the body, quiet the world's noise, so these soul parts, these diamonds, can emerge. It's basically about disconnecting from that constant pull of materialistic society.
Okay, so it clears the ground, makes space, allows things to surface.
Precisely.
Now, what's the second type? You said it was more internal?
Yes, much more internal, profound. This is internal or intrinsic Hitbodedut.
Intrinsic.
And the analogy here is using a microscope.
Ah, okay. Different tool entirely.
Completely different. This practice is specifically designed to reveal the yachita.
The Yachita.
That's the innermost singular point of the soul, the part that's directly, intrinsically connected to the creator.
Wow.
And the microscope analogy is perfect because, well, a microscope's sole purpose is to reveal what the naked eye just cannot see.
Right. It's built for that specific task.
Exactly. So this type of Hitbodedut, unlike the first one, is an intrinsic tool for this specific deep revelation. It's the way to access that core point.
And there's a condition for this one.
Yeah.
Right. Something about being singular.
Yes, absolute crucial. Rabbi Schwartz emphasizes that to reveal the yachita, and the word itself means singular or unique unit, you have to be truly singular.
Meaning.
Meaning even being with other very spiritual people, other Ovdei Hashem, servants of God, even that can interfere with this specific revelation.
Really, even other spiritual seekers.
For revealing the yachita, yes. Because in that moment, you're not truly yachid. You're not utterly singular. You're part of a group, even a holy one.
Okay, that's quite a specific requirement. Makes you think.
It really does. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? For anyone on this path, how do we navigate these different modes, these different dimensions of inner work?
Yeah, because group work, being with other Ovdei Hashem, feels beneficial too.
Oh, absolutely. And the teaching acknowledges that. Engaging with others like that can definitely help reveal those diamond parts of the soul we talked about, the nefesh, ruach, etc. It helps detach us from purely material focus, build spiritual energy. That shared environment can be really powerful for that kind of bottom-up spiritual arousal.
Okay, so group work is good for the diamond digging phase.
It can be, yes. But the teaching is very clear. Even the most dedicated spiritual community, the best Chabura, cannot replace the need for that true, deep internal solitude when your aim is accessing the yechida. That singularity, that unique point of the soul, it just demands a corresponding singularity in your state, both external and internal, even from other spiritual people.
That's a really powerful distinction. The collective journey versus that ultimate singular connection. So, okay, how does this all fit together practically? The teaching gives us a framework, right? Like a roadmap.
Yes, a very vital one, a 3-stage progression for Hitbodedut.
And you mentioned the importance of structure, like building a house properly.
Exactly. The teaching really emphasizes this. You don't just, throw things together randomly. Floor, then roof, then maybe a wall over here.
Right. You need a plan, a sequence.
You need a logical sequence for real progress. Otherwise, you're just making noise, not building anything solid.
Okay, so what's stage 1?
Stage 1, discovering the I, the self, the soul.
Discovering the I. Okay.
The purpose here is basically to systematically remove the body's screen, all the things that obscure our true nature, and to gradually reveal the soul, layer by layer. It's about answering that fundamental question. Who am I? Really experiencing the answer, not just thinking about it.
Okay, so finding that core self first. Then what's stage 2?
Stage 2, completing the I through prayer.
Completing the I.
Right. Once you've started to actually discover, to touch your true self from stage 1, you then engage with that self. You look honestly. You identify the lacks, the negative traits, the areas that need refinement that aren't whole. And then you turn to the Creator in heartfelt prayer and supplication, asking Him to complete what's missing within you, to fix what needs fixing.
So prayer here is very specific, tied to self-discovery.
Very specific.
Yeah.
And the teaching notes, interestingly, that Breslov teachings, from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, often focus heavily on this stage, the personal prayer, the self-assessment.
Right, that makes sense given their emphasis. Okay, so discover the I, then work on completing it through prayer. What's stage 3?
Stage 3, discovering the Creator's existence within oneself.
Ah, okay. This sounds like the culmination.
It is. This is where the work leads to achieving an actual direct experience of the divine presence within your own heart, not as something external, but internal, real.
Wow. And you mentioned some older texts may be focused differently.
Yes. Rabbi Schwartz points out, for example, that a text like the Sefer HaMaspik Lav de Hashem discusses stage 1, finding the self, and stage 3, finding God within, but doesn't emphasize stage 2, prayer for completion, as much. So this 3-stage structure offers a more integrated path.
Okay, that integration seems crucial.
It is, and that's exactly where the risks come in if you don't understand the structure or if you try to skip stages.
Risks, like what?
Well, without this understanding, someone could be doing Hitbodedut for, decades, maybe only focusing on stage 2 prayer, But if they haven't done the work of stage one, haven't really discovered their true I, who are they praying for? What are they trying to complete?
Mm.
They might never actually reveal the creator's presence within or even their own true self. They might just see God as like a cosmic vending machine to fill their perceived lacks.
Ouch. It's blunt.
But important. Prayer is incredibly powerful, a vital tool for completion. But it needs, as the teaching says, a vessel. It needs that developed inner eye from stage one to actually hold the divine response, to make the completion real.
Like the Zohar talks about the oil cruise needing a container.
Exactly that image. Without that foundational self-recognition, prayer risks becoming just imagination, wishful thinking, disconnected from reality.
So the dangers are real then. What happens if someone gets stuck?
Well, focusing only on stage one, just self-discovery, might lead to, deep self-knowledge, but without that ultimate divine connection, it becomes self-centered.
Okay.
Focusing only on stage two, prayer without the foundation, can lead to that life of imagination we mentioned, not grounded. And trying to leap directly to stage three, trying to force that experience of the divine within without the groundwork, well, it might simply be unachievable. Or if someone thinks they've achieved it prematurely, it could lead to a kind of spiritual bypass, a disconnection from the world and the work needed here.
So the path is really step by step.
The recommended path, the foundational path, is absolutely gradual. Stage one, stage two, stage three, build the foundation, then build upon it.
That warning about prayer becoming imagination is really sticking with me. It really makes you think how much of our lives, maybe even our spiritual efforts, are spent chasing things without truly knowing who is doing the chasing.
It's a deep question.
So let's dig into stage one more. Discovering the I. What does that actually mean, according to this teaching? Because Rabbi Schwartz seems to challenge some common ideas here.
He really does. It's quite counterintuitive sometimes.
He says it's not primarily about emotional feelings, right?
Yeah.
Like love, joy, fear, even though those are important.
Correct. Feelings are described more like wings. They can uplift the work, give it energy, but they aren't the essence of discovering the I itself. The core work isn't emotional exploration in that sense.
Okay. And it's also not about identifying personality traits, talent, strengths, weaknesses.
Also correct. Those are seen as attributes of the I, characteristics of the self, but not the fundamental I itself.
So, if it's not feelings and it's not traits, what is it? What are we looking for?
What's truly profound here is how the I is presented. It's described as an objective reality, a being. The Hebrew word used is havaya, which implies existence, beingness.
Objective reality.
Yes. So the inner work of stage one is about perceiving this reality as reality. It shifts the focus entirely from what am I, my traits, feelings, to that I am, the simple, undeniable fact of existence.
Perceiving the fact of my own existence.
Exactly. Not analyzing it, not describing it, but perceiving its reality. It's not just philosophy. It's meant to be a practical way to connect with a deeper, more stable core within yourself, something beyond the ups and downs of emotion or circumstance.
How do we normally experience the I then, if not this way?
Well, most people day to day experience their I only through its manifestations, through what they do, what they're good at, how they feel, what makes them different. They experience the attributes, the expressions, but not the underlying pure existence itself. The teaching mentions that developmental shift, often around adolescence, maybe 14 or 15.
Yeah, you mentioned that spark.
Right, where a person starts moving from just living impulsively, almost like an animal driven by instinct, towards a beginning of self-awareness, realizing there's a self inside. But that's just the spark, the very beginning.
So how is this deeper I perceived then, if not through thoughts or feelings or senses in the usual way?
It's described as being felt or touched internally. Misush is the term used. It implies a kind of spiritual sense of touch.
Spiritual touch.
Yes, not seeing, hearing, smelling, or even speaking it. It's a direct, intuitive inner perception, feeling your own inner reality as an undeniable presence, objective. Tangible in a spiritual sense, not just an idea you think about.
Wow. Okay, so the I is not just a bundle of characteristics. It's this fundamental, touchable inner presence.
Yeah.
It's quite something to contemplate.
It is.
Now, with all this focus on inner work and solitude, especially for the Yekida, the question comes up again, what about community? Is group spiritual activity, like a chabura, helpful or not? Or is solitude just always better?
Yeah, it's a common and important question. The teaching gives a balanced view. It acknowledges both have value. It differentiates the kind of revelation you get from solitude, particularly relating to the Yekido, which is described as quietude, hashkata, a kind of top-down influx,
Okay.
from the kind of energy often generated in group work, which is more like a bottom-up arousal, a collective stirring, shared enthusiasm.
Top-down versus bottom-up. Interesting.
Both have their place, but the teaching adds some important conditions, especially for group work.
Condition there.
Yes, a chabura, a group gathering, is really effective and beneficial only if the participants come with pure intention, genuinely seeking collective spiritual power, shared connection, not looking for personal gain or validation or trying to outshine others.
So the intention is critical. Ego gets in the way.
Completely. Any individual agenda undermines the collective potential. For example, studying Torah in a group. If people have very different viewpoints and just want to debate, it can fall apart. It needs a shared understanding, a willingness to listen, for real revelation to happen through the group.
Makes sense. What about other group activities?
Well, singing together in a group is often mentioned as more unifying, because music can sometimes bypass those intellectual differences, connect people on a more fundamental, maybe emotional, heart level.
Yeah, you can feel that sometimes. So it's not just if you're in a group, but how the group functions and what the intention is.
Exactly. The energy and intent matter hugely.
And this also helps clarify the prayer part of Hitbodedut, right? Stage 2. How is that private prayer different from, say, praying with the congregation?
Yes, it's very distinct. The private prayer done during Hitbodedut, especially in stage 2, must come from that deep internal recognition of your own I from stage 1. And it must address the specific lacks you've identified within that I.
So it's highly personalized.
Extremely. Communal prayer, on the other hand, is usually for the broader needs of the community, the collective. It's not always built on that kind of intense individual self-knowledge and introspection. Both are vital, but they serve different functions.
Okay.
And the teaching really stresses combining the self-recognition with the prayer, like that practical suggestion. Maybe spend an hour doing Hitbodedut. Split it. Half an hour really focusing on recognizing the self, that inner reality. The other half, praying based on what you recognize.
Building the prayer on the recognition.
Exactly. Prayer becomes the act of building on that foundation of self-recognition. Without the foundation, like we said, it's like a house with no walls. The prayer has nowhere to land, no vessel to hold the divine response.
So how do you know if you're actually doing this right? If the inner work is genuine, is there a way to tell?
Yes, the teaching gives a crucial measure, a barometer, you could say. Genuine inner work should provide inner vitality, a sense of inner life, chiyut-nimit. And it should lead to a real, deep, internal quietude. Not just an intellectual understanding like, oh, I know this concept now.
So it has to feel alive inside, not just like head knowledge.
Precisely. If it just feels like information, like knowledge you've acquired, but it doesn't impart life, doesn't bring that inner quiet and vitality, then according to this teaching, it hasn't been truly acquired. It hasn't become part of your being. It's still external in a way.
That's a really powerful practical test.
Yeah.
Inner vitality and quietude.
Okay.
And this seems to bring us back beautifully to that guiding principle you mentioned earlier, the one about the end and the beginning.
Yes. Sof ma'ase b'mashava techila.
Which means?
The end of the action is in the initial thought.
Right. So applying that here.
Yeah.
When you start stage 1, that whole process of discovering the I, you need to keep the end goal in mind from the very beginning.
Absolutely crucial. Always remember the ultimate goal, which is stage 3, discovering the creator within the heart.
So the I, the self you're discovering, it's not the final destination.
No, the I is the tool. It's the means. It's essential. You can't get there without it, but it's not the purpose itself.
Like the analogy you used. The car isn't the destination, it's what gets you there.
Exactly. The car is the tool to get you to work or wherever you're going. If you forget the destination, you just end up driving around aimlessly, maybe enjoying the car, maybe polishing it.
But never arriving.
Never arriving. The self, the I, is that vehicle, the vehicle given to you to discover and connect with the creator. Keeping that end in mind from the start fundamentally reframes the entire journey.
Yeah, it prevents getting stuck just exploring the self indefinitely.
It really does. Because the ultimate purpose of life, according to this teaching, isn't just self-discovery for its own sake. It's discovering the creator through the self. That's the point.
And having that initial understanding, that end in mind, helps avoid getting stuck.
Yeah. Yes. It prevents getting stuck in those early stages. Because there's a real risk, the teaching warns, of just staying at the same level forever. Like a child who learns to crawl but never moves on to walking, running. They never reach their full potential.
Hmm.
So how can you, the listener, gauge your progress? It comes back to that inner experience. Does the work provide that inner vitality, that nimit? Does it lead to genuine inner quietude? Does it feel profound and real internally? That feeling, that inner resonance, isn't just subjective fluff. According to this, it's the starting point of truth. It's the inner feedback that tells you you're on the right path, a path leading to real transformation.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive into Hitbodedut. We've really unpacked so much from Rabbi Schwartz's teaching. It's far more than just sitting alone. We talked about that core dual nature, body and soul. Then the two distinct types, the external diamond digging and the internal microscope, work for the Akida. And that vital three-stage path, discovering the I, then completing the I through focused prayer, and finally the goal, discovering the divine within you. And that crucial point, the I isn't just feelings or talents, it's that fundamental, touchable inner existence. And the whole thing is a structured, purposeful journey. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? What's the takeaway?
Well, I think the teaching really pushes us to consider not just what we do for our inner growth, our spiritual path, but how we approach it. Are we approaching it with clarity of purpose? Do we understand the structure, the stages? Are we being honest with ourselves about our inner experience? Is there real vitality there? Perhaps the next step in your own personal deep dive prompted by this could be to just reflect. Which of these three stages feels most relevant to where you are right now? And maybe how could you approach that stage or even just your next moment of quiet reflection with that principle in mind? Savasa bimachava tachila. Keeping the end, that ultimate connection with the Creator through your true self, always in view. Something to think about.